You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's a Sunday of Labor Day here in Toronto, and it is time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday Game of the Week. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the rubber game of a three-game set from Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. The Yankees lost 2-0 yesterday. Every game is so important, but the Yankees offensively managed just one hit, a double by Mark Teixeira in the fourth inning, and it's hard to win games with just one hit.
Well, the Blue Jays won with one big hit, if you will. In the first inning, it was Jose Bautista with his 28th home run of the year. This was all the offense in the game. He's better known as Joey Bats in this part of the world, and he got the job done with a two-run homer, and the Blue Jays won 2-0.
Why does that hold up? Well, take a look at the Yankee offense this season. It has not been good. 13th in runs, 11th in average, 9th in home runs, 12th in on-base percentage, and 9th with runners in scoring position. Not very good at all. Let's see what they do today. Today's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Jay Happ will go for the Blue Jays. Brandon McCarthy will go for the Yankees, and for the Yankees, he's been a pretty good pitcher since they acquired him.
They got him from the Diamondbacks, and he has done a pretty good job. He was not quite as sharp in his last start. This was on the 26th against the Detroit Tigers. In fact, he threw pretty well early in the game. Good movement on the fastball. We got some help here with Mark Teixeira making a nice play. Sharp breaking ball, and he was solid for most of the game. But then things started to come apart for him later on in the ball game as the Tigers, the best hitting team in the league, put some offense together, and McCarthy would suffer the loss. So would the Yankees.
Again, the rubber game of this three-game set for the Yankees. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees and the Blue Jays coming up next, right here on Yes. Dealer.com for all summer sell-down offers. By Henry and Me, watch Yankees Legends Come Alive, available on DVD and digital download September 30th. And by Honda, get a great deal on a new car you'll love at the Honda Summer Clearance events. Another big crowd expected here at Rogers Center. Sellout yesterday, the 11th sellout of the year. Yankees lost yesterday 2-0, so this is the rubber game after they had won on Friday. And they have Brandon McCarthy going up against Jay Happ. Yankees seem like they're in good spirits. They do not have Jacoby Ellsbury in the lineup again. He did take some batting practice on the field. Saw him walking before the game, Kenny. Did not seem as if he was walking with any kind of noticeable limp, but I think the Yankees are being very, very careful. And not having Ellsbury in the lineup the way he was hitting is a big blow for this offense.
It certainly is. The fact that he was walking, it seemed walking great, but running on this turf might be a problem. I think that's one reason why they kept him out today. Even if he was only the designated hitter, if he gets on base, you know what his game is about. It's about speed once he gets on.
Well, the Blue Jays have taken the field, so we will take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. This is the lineup without Ellsbury. In center field, leading off, Brett Gardner. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, bats second. Batting third, playing second base, Martin Prado. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll clean up. The number 5 hitter playing right field today, Carlos Beltran. Chase Headley's at third base. He'll bat 6. Batting 7th and catching this afternoon, Francisco Cervelli. Stephen Drew gets a start at short. He's going to bat in the number 8 spot. And playing left field and batting 9th will be Zealous Wheeler.
There's a picture from this afternoon's game. The Blue Jays will send 31-year-old left-handed Jay Happ to the mound. In his career, 2-2 against the New York Yankees, and this is what he's done this year. He's worked both as a starter and a reliever. His record 8-8. You can see the opponents are hitting .267 against him. Let's check out the pitcher's scouting report. Brought to you by your Triumph Honda dealers. Same difference. His record's 8-8. He's 4-4 at home, 4-4 on the road. Been struggling lately like this Blue Jay team. His last win, July 22nd. In 3 years, he was all Big Ten at Northwestern University. And eventually signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. Has been in the major leagues for about 10 years.
Why don't we check out the defense behind Jay Happ? It's presented by Geico. In the outfield, Melky Cabrera's the left, Colby Rasmus in center, and Jose Bautista, who has a great arm, he's over and right. In the infield, Danny Valencia, Jose Reyes, Yunonori Kawasaki, and Edwin Encarnacion. That's third to first. Diana Navarro is behind the plate. Third straight game for him behind the plate. And Kenny told you all about Jay Happ on the mound. Yankees again yesterday failed to go 8 games over 500, which is or would be their high water mark. So 0 for 4 in attempting to go 8 games over. The Blue Jays are 68 and 67. The Yankees are 70 and 64. Brett Gardner digging into the left-handed batter's box. He's ready. Jay Happ is ready. And let's do it here in Toronto. First pitch is outside, and we are underway. Chad Fairchild is the home plate umpire. Ben May at first. Mike Everett at second. And the crew chief, Bill Miller, is the third base umpire. That one is drilled to right field. Going back, Bautista. Looking up. See ya. A home run for Brett Gardner. Nice start to the day. Yankees up 1-0.
After missing with a fastball outside, he comes back with one on the inner third that we've seen all year long. This is Brett Gardner. Each time he hits a home run, it's now a career high. And there it goes. Yankees up 1-0.
There's Derek Jeter. And his final appearance here in Toronto. He's the DH today before the game. Blue Jays honored him with a $10,000 check for his Turn 2 Foundation and also a beautiful getaway trip to Banff.
That was beautiful.
That's in the Canadian Rockies. It's a castle. And Derek Jeter rewards the Blue Jays with a base hit.
Derek with an immediate thank you, or maybe not, as a base hit in the center field. I don't know if any of you out there have been to the Canadian Rockies, but they're beautiful. Skiing in the winter, golf in the summer.
So the first batter of the game, and the Yankees passed their run total from yesterday. And 2 batters in, they passed their hit total from yesterday. Here's Martin Prado. And Hap deals. That's right.
And right away when Brett Gardner hit that home run, the Yankees took care of a record that continues to go now. 2,529 games without being shut out in back-to-back ball games. That's the longest in Major League history.
And for Gardner, his 16th home run. Every time he hits a home run, it's a new career high. Just his 3rd hit on this road trip and 15 at bats. One.
Tell you something, Michael. I know that hitters, as they gain more experience, they get a little bit better at setting up pitchers and knowing what to expect. And you know, Gardner, count was 1-0. You know, his main game is speed. But every once in a while, somebody tries to get in on him, and he is up to the task this year. And a lot of his home runs have gone in the same direction, right down the line.
2-1. 2-2.
We'll take a look at the swing. Quicken up, hand. See it. Second time you got to hear that, folks.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Prado. Jeter leads off first. Still nobody out. Just underway. 1 run in. The pitch. This should be 2. There's 1. And there's 2.
Jose Reyes is going to get this started. Over to Kawasaki on the first. Encarnacion and Blue Jays pick up a couple of outs.
Here's Mark Teixeira. His double in the 4th inning yesterday was the only thing standing between the Yankees getting no hit. 2 Blue Jay pitchers, Drew Hutchison and Aaron Sanchez, completely shut the Yankees down.
And really, when you look at it, Michael, that was the only inning that the Yankees threatened. They actually loaded the bases after 2 were out, but they did not score. Here's the winning pitcher, Drew Hutchison, did a great job yesterday.
Line drive, foul.
The Yankees were talking about, and as we saw yesterday, he did a good job of elevating his fastball just to the fringe of the strike zone, and the Yankees couldn't get on top of it. Did 9 strikeouts in 7 innings.
And Teixeira swings and tips the ball into the glove of Navarro for the final out of the first. But the Yankees get a run on this swing. Brett Gardner goes yard. His 16th home run of the year. Yankees won. And the Blue Jays coming to bat. Americana, which is presented by Chevrolet. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, will lead off, batting second and playing left field, Melky Cabrera. Hitting third and playing right field, Jose Bautista. He has homered in 4 straight games. The DH, Adam Lynn, will clean up. Batting fifth, playing first base, Edwin Encarnacion. Leonardo Navarro is catching. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing center field, Colby Rasmus. The third baseman, Danny Valencia. He'll hit eighth. Batting ninth and playing second base is Munenori Kawasaki.
Brandon McCarthy gets a start for the Yankees this afternoon, and he's 3-3 against the Toronto Blue Jays in his career. This is what he's done overall this season. His record with the Yankees is 5-3 with a very good ERA of 2.47. Let's check out the Pitcher's Scouting Report, brought to you by your Try on the Dealers Afternoon Delight. He's made 7 previous starts in day games this year, and it's been just delightful for the fans who watched him. A 1.88 ERA in the daytime. This is a bounce-back start after what happened in Detroit. And he's thrown shutouts for 4 different teams in his career, and only 2 other active pitchers have done that. Bartolo Colon actually for 5 teams, including the Yankees, and Kyle Loesch, who's thrown shutouts for 4 teams in his career.
And the pitch to Jose Reyes is a strike.
McCarthy in his career has thrown shutouts for the Texas Rangers, the Oakland A's, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now the New York Yankees.
Change speeds there, and Reyes way out in front. Good to see Reyes healthy again, playing the game with the joy that he always does, and been hitting well since the All-Star break. Count 1-2.
When he's going right, he can be the catalyst for an offense out of the leadoff spot. He can be a finisher when his turn comes up with the men on base.
1-2.
He's enjoyed a relatively free of injury season. His last 106 games, he's hit 91 of them.
Chop to third. Headley will get Reyes for the first out. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind McCarthy, presented by Geico. In the outfield, Wheeler, Gardner, and Beltran. That's left to right. In the infield, it's Headley, Drew, Prado, and Teixeira, third to first. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. Brandon McCarthy is on the mound.
Who said he's reached safely in 91.
There's Melky Cabrera. He has 4 home runs this year against the Yankees. So 4 of his 15 against his former team. Missed outside. Grounded up the middle. Grabbed by Prado on the backhand. 2 down. Yankees baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote. SAP is brought to you by Infinity.
What you saw for the first 2 Blue Jay hitters, if that continues this afternoon for Brandon McCarthy, that will tell you that his sinking fastball, which can be thrown at 93, 94 miles an hour, is working. And they're also hitting on top of his very sharp breaking ball or slider or cutter.
Here is the red-hot Bautista, at least home run-wise red-hot. There's a strike, a home run in each of his last 4 games, and his home run in the first inning yesterday was the difference in the game. No home run there, a ground ball to Drew. 3 ground balls, 3 straight outs. Brandon McCarthy with a perfect bottom of the first inning. We go to the second. Yankees 1, Blue Jays nothing on Yes. Toyota Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Well, the conversation started with, what do you think of the trades the Orioles made last night? Motorloo said, I don't think that either Diaz or Kelly Johnson will make the Orioles better than they are now. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. Well, they're not headline acquisitions, but it does make them incrementally better, and that's what you try to do if you think you're heading to the playoffs.
Well, it strengthens their bench. Kelly Johnson in particular gives them an option at third base with Manny Machado out for the rest of the season.
Kelly Johnson's not played for every team in the American League East.
You could fill out a heck of a travel guide.
Count 1-1 on Beltran. Kind of an overcast day here in Toronto, but the roof open for the third straight day.
2.
Count 1-2.
Can you remember doing a series up here, Michael, where the roof has been open every single day?
No.
I don't think so. This is the first time that I can remember that.
Swing. A miss. As Beltran down on strikes. Let's look at the official game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 82 degrees, 67% humidity, 14 miles per hour is the wind. It is indeed partly cloudy. Beltran had a little bit of a long talk there with Fairchild, but now goes back to the dugout.
It certainly wasn't about this pitch. He swung at and missed a breaking ball into third.
Maybe he's saying he foul tipped the ball, but he did not.
It didn't look like it.
Headley takes low, 1-0. The 1-1. Squibb back to the mound. Happ underhands to Encarnacion.
Yeah, just before that pitch to Headley, I was looking at Kawasaki, and it looks like he's going back to the same. No, not this time. He was playing directly behind the pitcher, and he had to lean to see where the pitch was going. Don't you think anything hit back, the pitcher might be able to stop?
You hope.
You hope. And with Cervelli up, he's playing a little bit more towards the right side. There he is, right up here. Cervelli's only had 4 at-bats this trip. He's got 1 hit.
That one is drilled deep to center field. Rasmus back, still back, track, wall, it's off the wall. Cervelli is going to go for 3. Cabrera will field the carom and flip it in. It is a stand-up triple for Francisco Cervelli off the center field wall.
Well, now he's got 2 hits this trip, and this is a booming shot to center. Up goes Rasmus. He's a pretty good fielding center fielder, but that's over his glove. Just missed being a home run by about a foot.
You know what happened there, Kenny? The wall stopped his jump.
Exactly. You get too close to the wall, Michael. You can't. The angle's not there.
Yep.
The wall stops you. And Cervelli tried in the third with a stand-up triple.
You can see he stopped the ascent because the wall just stopped him.
Inches from being a home run. First triple of the year.
Here's Stephen Drew. Foul back.
2.
Good fastball strike. And the 0-2. Swing and miss. Down on the fastball. Third strikeout for Hatt. But the Yankees wasted triple by Cervelli. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Yanks. Report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. Ellsbury's been red hot on this trip, but he's gone down with the ankle injury. Out of the lineup for the second straight game. Boy, he was raking. Overall, 286, 14 homers, and 64 runs batted in. 64 runs scored, 37 stolen bases. Those are a lot of numbers to take out of a lineup that's struggling, Kenny.
Yeah, and 4 of those 14 home runs were on this road trip.
Now, he has been asking Joe to let him play, but it's his left ankle, and Joe said it takes his speed away. It's also his back ankle when he's hitting. He said it's hard to put him in there. This is early this morning, taking BP. And he was walking a lot better today than he was yesterday. Yankees will examine him tomorrow at the stadium, and he's hoping he'll be in the lineup on Tuesday.
Yeah, for everybody who's watching, you said, well, he's swinging the bat okay. Remember, in batting practice, they want you to hit the ball. And it's only maybe at the max 70 miles an hour.
Three and 0 to Adam Lynn. McCarthy worked a 1-2-3 first inning. Ground ball to third, second, and short. Strike. With the Yankees, McCarthy 5-3, 2.47. There's a ground ball to Prado in short right field. He makes the throw, and it gets the out. One away.
How about Martin Prado? 3 games in this series, he started at 3 different positions. Second base today, third base, and left field. That's the versatility he can bring to a team. Of course, he's batting third today, so he can be hit in the middle of the lineup. He can serve as a sort of a guy who protects hitters in the lineup. He can bat 5th, 6th. This guy can do everything on the field.
Now he's on the left side of the infield for Encarnacion. And the pitch clips the outside corner for a strike. Encarnacion goes, really? Grounded right to Prado. They had him play perfectly, and Prado has 3 assists so far in the game.
Really?
And 5 putouts from Mark Teixeira.
You know, he might have said really, but I've thought that many a time.
Just tilt the head a little bit.
You serious?
Here's Navarro. A .358 hitter against the Yankees this year. 19 hits and 53 at-bats. So they've been unable to slow down their former farmhand. Count 1-0.
He's been around for a while now. He's gone 700. This will be his 738th game as a catcher in the major leagues today.
And another hit. 20 hits against the Yankees in one season. Wow. 20 for 54. So that's the first base runner for the Blue Jays.
And now he's hitting 11 straight games against his former team. They're going to have to go over the videotape at the end of the year and see what they can do with this guy. Of course, the Yankees and the Blue Jays have one more series. They play in the Bronx. And that will start on September the 18th.
Here is Colby Rasmus. And a strike. Colby's brother, Corey, pitched 3 scoreless innings for the Angels yesterday against the Athletics. A running start for Navarro, and he's going to steal second base. Wow. McCarthy never looked at him. He started, stopped, still didn't look, and then started again. He starts, stops.
Well, first of all, the Yankees weren't holding him on. They're playing behind the runner with Rasmus at the plate. Starts, stops, and gets his second stolen base of the year. He's 2-0.
And Colby's brother, with the 3 scoreless innings, helped the Angels beat the A's 2-1. Now that 2-0. Now they've won 3 in a row, and they're 4 games up in the AL West. They do finish the season with a 3-game series against the Athletics. So the Athletics aren't hitting right now, Kenny. That's why they went out and they got Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn to bolster their lineup.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Rasmus down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the 3rd in Toronto. It's 1-0 Yanks. MLB.com and bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, score, stats, audio, the free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download it on the App Store or visit Yankees.com today. We go to the third inning, and it's 1-0 Yankees on the home run by Brett Gardner leading off the game. And Zealous Wheeler will lead off in the top of the third. Audi A3 scoreboard, 1-3-0 Yanks, 0-1-0 for the Blue Jays. Wheeler takes low.
Wheeler, another one of those players that has versatility. He's in left field today. We've seen him in right, third, second.
Popped up. Kawasaki makes the play. Now back to the top of the lineup and Brett Gardner. Yankees have an off day tomorrow, and then back at the stadium against the Red Sox Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. We'll have all of those games on Yes. One and one.
Gardner leads all American League leadoff hitters and homers, so he's dangerous out of the top spot this year.
Now, as of tomorrow, the Yankees can extend their roster to 40 men. They can call up all 40 guys on their 40-man roster. They're not going to do that. They might call up maybe 4 or 5. Bolster the bullpen a bit. Fly ball left field. Cabrera is there. For the second out. I've always found, Kenny, that rule is somewhat curious. You're playing under one set of rules for 5 months, and then when the games really start to matter and can decide a pennant race, you're playing against teams that could bring in 6, 7, 8 pitches an inning. You could really mix and match, and it's just played in a different way. I don't think it's eminently fair at all. And a lot of baseball people agree that it should be changed. And if you want to call people up, have a taxi squad, and each game you have to name 25 guys.
You know, it's more of a reward for the players coming up from the minor leagues for having good seasons. Come up and see what's going on in the big leagues for the last month down the stretch. But where it's unfair, and I agree with you, some teams bring up more players than others.
Yep.
So managers have a more of an advantage than other managers do. So what you're saying is a taxi squad, and you can play any one of the 25 that you designate for that game.
Right. Then you're playing the game under the same rules.
Okay.
Because one dugout, they could have 35 guys. The other, they might have 29. The way it is now. So we'll see what the Yankees call up for their game against the Red Sox on Tuesday. And the key is you have to be on a 40, so you might not see a Pirella, you might not see a Ref Snyder. They're not on the 40-man roster.
And the reason they don't have to be protected yet.
Right.
Other teams cannot Rule 5 them and take them away from the Yankees in the offseason. They just haven't had enough minor league experience.
The 3-1 to Jeter. Grounded to second. Kawasaki is there. And the Yankees go down in order against Jay Happ. We go to the bottom of the third. Yankees 1, Blue Jays nothing. ever Major League Soccer franchise in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Witness superstars David Villa and Frank Lampard as they lead New York City FC into action. Season tickets to the inaugural campaign of New York City FC Soccer are available right now at nycfc.com or by calling 855-77-NYC-FC. When we go to the bottom of the third, it is 1-0 Yankees. A leadoff home run by Brett Gardner has given the Yankees that lead. Here's Danny Valencia. It'll be Valencia, Kawasaki, and back to the top of the lineup, Reyes against McCarthy. The Audi A3 scoreboard, 1-0. The Yankees lead, and there's a strike to Valencia. Blue Jays a different team without one of their spark plugs, and that's Brett Lawrie. Plays third, plays second, and he has been out, and he's been injured a couple of times, and that's the one thing they worry about, Kenny. He seems to be somewhat injury prone.
Well, he plays the game hard, number one. Remember the day in Yankee Stadium he just fell over into the camera well?
Yep.
Hurt his ankle, was out for a period of time, trying to make a play.
What'd you say? He was out with a hand injury, came back, and he was in there for 3 innings?
He had a fractured finger, was in the game for 3 innings, hit a ball into the corner, a rounding first, tried to slam on the brakes, and hurt his ribcage. Wow.
Valencia singles open up the third. You watch Brett Lawrie, and it almost seems like he's playing football.
He's got that sort of mentality. Yeah. He brings that high-powered energy to the game. Kawasaki bowing to the home plate umpire. This guy's kind of fun to watch.
Well, in his own words, he's energy.
Yeah.
Runner goes. Line drive caught. Mike Teixeira steps on the bag for a double play. Saved an extra base hit and saved a run. And just like that, 2 outs.
Well, the energy short-circuited here. Line drive. You can see Teixeira snares it. Valencia off and running. Blue Jays trying to get something going here. Instead, it's a double play. Line drive off the bat, up and down. And Teixeira makes an unassisted double play.
Here's Reyes. Well, one thing they better watch out for, Ken, they're running every time they get on. They must have a scouting report on McCarthy. He's not looking over at all because Valencia got a huge jump. And Navarro stole a base, so that tells you what you need to know, what their game plan is.
Yeah, it should be a red flag right there for the Yankees. Navarro, his second steal of the year. It makes you wonder what's going to happen when Reyes gets on, or if he gets on.
It might be a good idea to keep him off. Popped up and out of play. And the pitch. Still 2-2.
Well, we've talked about and heard Joe Girardi mention how these games are like playoff games for the Yankees. You know, maybe I wouldn't say it's up to the level is not up to DEFCON 5, but it's pretty darn close.
No, it's not a must-win, but it's very important.
Yes.
I mean, there are no must-wins unless it's close to being mathematical or absolutely mathematically eliminated. But these are important games. You can't get around that. The Yankees were down about that loss yesterday. And now we'll see what Reyes does as he walks with 2 outs here in the third.
Here's our Jeep scouting report, our hitter scouting report of Melky Cabrera. And he's kind of torn up the Yankees offensively. He's hit in 26 of his last 29 games against the Yankees. He's got 12 outfield assists. Only 2 other outfielders in the league have more than him, Yoenis Cespedes and Jackie Bradley Jr. And his 79 runs scored lead the Toronto Blue Jays. He's having himself a very good year in a walk season. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Count 1-0.
And Melky has hit well from both sides of the plate, over 300 from both sides. McCarthy 6'7".
Moving out to left field, long run for Wheeler. He's there and makes the play for the final out of the third. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3 in the books. 1-0 Yanks. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free help today. 1998, which Yankees and Blue Jays pitchers tied Rick Helling for the American League lead with 20 wins each? I think I have the Yankee one. We'll find out all together in the bottom of the 4th inning. Martin Prado will lead off here in the top of the 4th. Yankees lead 1-0. And we are joined by Jack Curry. Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Yanks. And there's a strike. And there's Jack.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, what did you think of Ellsbury taking BP today? How did he look to you?
You know what, Michael? I think it was an encouraging sign for the Yankees that he got out there, he took BP, he ran the bases, and then he spoke to a bunch of us in the dugout after going through that entire routine. And he was so encouraged that he wanted to finish this interview to go in and lobby Joe Girardi to get into the lineup today. Now, Girardi, after one workout, wasn't going to change that lineup. But I think now you start to look pinch hitting situation later in this game. But you also start to look towards Tuesday as a day where he probably plays.
Prado with a single through the left side to lead off here in the 4th. You know, it's weird, though, Jack, because before he hit, we all spoke with Joe Girardi, and he sounded somewhat concerned, more concerned than he usually shows. Said he was a little bit worried, but then you see him hit, and he didn't seem like he was hindered at all.
I think the one thing Joe brought up, too, is adrenaline kicks in. Now, I know taking batting practice is different than a game, but I think once Ellsbury got out there and actually tested it, I think it was positive news for the Yankees.
Teixeira wraps one to right field. Bautista right there. One away.
You brought it up earlier, Kenny, and that's what Girardi talked about too, that the ability to push off that left ankle and generate some power and show that he's not going up there as an inhibited or a hindered player. You want to go up there as a full player and be able to succeed as a hitter.
Not only that, you know, part of his game, and a big part of his game, is steals. Stealing bases, getting on base, and running the bases. When he's on first base, what is your push-off leg? It's your left ankle. Same as when he's hitting. You don't want to be re-injuring it on this turf.
All of that is true, but to be brutally honest, probably the Yankees' best hitter.
Right now, sure.
And if they need a pinch hitter late in the game to get a big hit, I would not be against using him if I was the Yankees, the way he hit BP. That one is skied out to right field. Bautista goes back. He makes the play in front of the track. On the second out.
Yeah, successive fly balls out to Joey Bats or Jose Bautista out in right field. And to me, that's a good sign, because part of his deal is sinking fastballs away from right-hand hitters. If you try and pull them, they would hit ground balls to Reyes at short. So the whole idea is hit the ball hard to the opposite field. Both those balls are hit fairly well. Making the adjustment when you're hitting.
Here's Chase Headley, grounded back to the mound in the second. Kawasaki shades up the middle for the righty swinging Headley. A lot of the right side of the infield is open. And a strike.
Was there any news today, Jack, about Tanaka?
Yes. He worked out yesterday at Yankee Stadium. Went through everything that he was supposed to do, his arm strengthening exercises, his long toss. He was going to do the same thing again today, and Girardi continued to say that he'll do that program for about a week and then have a bullpen session. But what Girardi also said is if he has one more setback, something like this, where his progress gets slowed down, then the calendar is really working against him. But Girardi was insistent that the Yankees want to get a look at Tanaka this year. They want to know what they have and how that elbow is standing up heading into the offseason.
There's a base hit to right field for Headley, as Prado's going for third. The throw, not in time. Good throw by Bautista, who has one of the better arms in the game. But Prado made it to third on the single by Headley.
Yeah, I think that was all Prado, because there's 2 outs. You don't want to make the third out at third base. And it'd be interesting to see what Robbie Thompson was doing if we can. Here's the base hit. He's off and running. Third straight hit by a right-handed batter. Ball hit in that direction. Joey Bats, strong arm. The throw is true, but Prado beats it. The throw is a little bit to the home plate side, and that allows Prado to get it on the right side of the bag. We see that on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. I didn't see whether Robbie Thompson was waving it on. Sometimes the third base coach says, whoa, okay, come on. And Robbie Thompson has a lot of respect for Jose Bautista's arm. He says he gets to the ball quickly and he unloads, and it's usually strong and true.
And when the safe signal was given, Bautista threw his hands up. He expects to get everybody when they run on him. Pitch to Cervelli is a strike. Let's see if Robbie's waving him.
He's not doing much of anything, is he? You got to get down. That's what he's saying. See, that was all Prado. Prado made up his mind that he was going to try for third.
Cervelli tripled off the center field wall in the second inning, was stranded at third. That was a 2-out triple. 2 outs again. Now runners on first and third.
Michael, I need to tie up a loose end on Prado. We talked yesterday. We talked a lot about the pine tar on his uniform, and I mentioned that he has a T-shirt that he wears, and the pine tar doesn't come out of that. I was told by a clubhouse source that the T-shirt just gets thrown in with the regular laundry, so the pine tar stays on that.
There's a base hit to left field by Cervelli. Scoring is Prado with the pine tar. It's an RBI single for the Yankee catcher. It's 2-0 Yanks.
Cervelli, 2 for 2, a triple and an RBI single. And both were hit very hard. Solid line drive here. And Prado could trot home with the Yankees' second run of the afternoon. You know, one reason why the Yankees sent Tanaka back to New York is that the facilities were better. And I don't know if you've seen the what they have for facilities here for the visiting team. It's not very good, if you ask me. The so-called workout room here.
Yeah, Joe Girardi was going through that as we see Navarro is going to go out and talk to Happ right now. But Girardi started to say and describe all of the things and all of the exercise equipment and, frankly, the people that the Yankees have back at Yankee Stadium. And that's the reason for Tanaka heading back to New York, getting a head start on this strengthening program and hoping that he can get into a position to throw a game this year.
Well, in all fairness, usually every home team's facilities for working out are state of the art, but the visitors maybe not quite as much.
Well, Joe was getting a little exasperated today because people kept pressing him why Tanaka went home. You know, with only 2 days left, he went home yesterday. The Yankees are going home today, and he said, "We're not hiding anything." He said, "I'm not saying that I'm not concerned about his soreness. I am." He said, "But the facilities are just better at Yankee Stadium. That's why he went back." The 1-0, 2-0. But they need to know, is this guy a pitcher for next year? Because if he's not a pitcher, then he's going to have the Tommy John surgery, and then he'll be out the whole year anyway. They don't want to go into next year wondering, planning that he's a pitcher, and then in spring training, then he blows it out. The 2-0. High fly ball left field. Melky going back, spinning a couple of ways, and finally spins the right way to haul it in. But the Yankees get a run on 3 hits and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 Yanks. Which Yankees and Blue Jays pitchers tied Rick Helling for the American League lead with 20 wins each? I believe that David Wells had 20 wins for the Yanks in '98.
Was Roger Clemens maybe?
Wow, Wells didn't. David Cohn and Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
I think maybe Wells must have had 18 then. I know he had a very good year.
Well, Clemens was on his way to the Yankees.
Poor Wells. Jose Bautista takes a strike. Lincoln scoreboard 2-0 Yankees. He was 18-4. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Twins and the O's scoreless. That's in Baltimore. About to get underway, Tigers and the White Sox. That's in Chicago. Nationals and the Mariners, a 4:10 start in Seattle. And the ESPN game, Indians and the Royals in KC.
By the way, that year, '98, Clemens won the Cy Young for the Blue Jays.
He won it both years he was in Toronto. Funny story, Ned Yost, he's the manager of the Kansas City Royals. He kind of called out the Royals fan base because they had 12,000 people at a game. And he said, we're in first place in the Central, and, the fans are so important, and they're not supporting us. And when I was with the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, this never happened. And a guy, I think, who blogs the Royals looked it up. And in 96 in September, in a big pennant race game, there were 11,000 people that went to see a Braves game. So 2-2. Grounded to third. Headley. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. The comments that Yost made were about the Tuesday game following the Yankee game. The Yankee game was a nice crowd. It was a makeup game, and then the Twins came to town, and hey, the Royals are in first place, and there were 12,000 people there. But managers have to tread very carefully when they start to question why fans come or don't come.
Well, it might be fair in that regard because fans seem to question managers every day.
Right. There's a strike to Lynn.
31,758 for a makeup game, the Yankees and the Royals.
And it was also Derek Jeter's last time in. The 0-1. Right now, the Tigers and the Royals are tied atop the Central. And Jack, if you're a Yankee fan, I think you almost have to root for the Tigers to pull away from the Royals because you play the Royals 3 times. So at least that's in your hands to catch up with them. Now the Mariners are in between. There's not much you could do there. You just have to hope they get knocked off.
Right. I think you go into it looking at those teams, but in talking to Cashman the other day, and we see a ground ball here. Prado's going to get over there. Is he going to make the play in time? He does. You take care of your own business. You obviously look at other teams, and you do have a rooting interest. But I think Cashman has said it. I think several Yankee players have said it. Worry about what's going on in your games, and if you play well, you can get to the point where you want to get to. I think if you start rooting for the Tigers or the Royals, you have no control over that. You do have control over the games you play.
As far as the Mariners are concerned there, here's my thought on them. Both the Angels and the A's are fighting for the top spot.
And they're going to play them.
And they're going to play the Mariners quite a bit. So they got 2 teams that are fighting for something ahead of them, and they're going to have to play them quite a bit. You would think they might have, 12 games left between those 2 teams? Speaking of the Mariners, maybe 12.
Grounded up the middle. Prado's getting a workout today. And another 1-2-3 inning for Brandon McCarthy as the Blue Jays go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the 5th. It's 2-0 Yanks. the Brewers, and the Pirates 2 games behind the Brewers. Right here, it's 2-0. Top of the 5th inning, Yankees lead the Blue Jays. Zealous Wheeler will lead off. It'll be Wheeler, Gardner, and Jeter here in the 5th.
Did you guys hear about that high school baseball game in Japan? Did you hear about that, Michael?
Yeah, you were telling me earlier. It's very interesting.
50-inning game.
That's not 15. That's 5-0.
5-0 over 4 days. Because by rule in Japan, high school teams can't play more than 15 innings a day. So 3 days of 45 innings with no score.
Popped up right field. 1 out.
And finally, I'm going to try and pronounce these names correctly. Chukwu won the game. Chukwu won the game 3-0. They scored 3 in the top of the 50th. And so Ukutu, they lost it. But the thing about this game, from the information I got, both teams use one pitcher.
See, that's disgraceful.
Yeah, you know, here's my point. I don't know if this is true or not. It's from what I was told by members of the Japanese press, 2 pitchers went all the way. Matsui, for the winning team, threw 709 pitches. And Ishioka, for the losing team, threw 689 over 4 days.
I mean, that's just terrible. It shouldn't be celebrated. It's an embarrassment to have kids. I mean, these kids aren't even fully grown yet, and have them throw that many pitches. That's awful.
You know, this is the tournament that, you know, I think Tanaka was the MVP in 1 year of that tournament. And it's a high school tournament. It is telecast and everybody watches. And that was the semifinal game.
That one is ripped into left center field. It's a base hit. It splits the outfielders and it goes to the wall. And Gardner is going to go for 3. And he'll make it. The throw is wide and it goes into the Blue Jay dugout. Gardner will score and the Yankees lead 3-0.
We've seen the Blue Jays in this series throw the ball around. Here's the relay throw. It is accurate, but this throw is not by Reyes. Misses the third baseman Valencia. Happ cannot get there in time to back up the play. The ball goes in and out of the dugout, and Gardner will score. First of all, this is the fun part. Watch this man run. This is a double for most guys. But right here, he had to slow down just to touch second base. Then on the third, the throw is wide, and he can just walk home.
Triple and an E6, allowing the run to score. Here's Jeter. 0-1.
You've got to love that play by Gardner if you're the Yankees. The ability to, as Kenny said, first of all, he's got speed, but being a smart base runner is not always just about speed. He could see that play and realize that he had third base because they weren't going to get the ball in time, and he creates an error by taking that extra base and forcing them to try and make a play. He creates a run all on his own. The way the Yankee offense is going, chances like that, I think you have to take those chances.
Remember, there was 1 out. He's trying to get the third with 1 out.
Count 2-1 on Jeter. Derek is 1 for 2. He singled in the first inning, single up the middle.
And the best time to take the chance on the bases is when you already have the lead.
Fly ball, left center. Melky Cabrera is there. Before the game, the Blue Jays honored Derek Jeter. Jose Bautista and Mark Burley came out, 2 of the veterans on the Blue Jay team. They gave him that trip to Banff Springs.
Oh, look at that.
And then $10,000 to the Turn 2 Foundation from the Blue Jays.
On behalf of the Blue Jays.
I was watching on Canadian television. One of the sports shows put together every single ceremony and what Jeter got, and everybody seemed like everybody did donate to the Turn 2 Foundation. The 1-0, there's a strike, but the team that gave the most. It's my little quick line quiz. Who do you think it is? The team that gave the most to the Turn 2 Foundation.
I saw the same thing, so I know. Yeah.
The New York Mets.
I was going to say the Mets.
$22,222. I mean, that's more than double what the highest second place gift was. Not that you're keeping score, but somebody is.
It's a worthy foundation. No matter what you give to it, it's going to help some kid.
And by the way, a foundation that he started, Kenny, over a pizza with his father in a hotel room in Detroit.
Line to Valencia. Prado is out, and that will do it. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on base. We're halfway through. It's 3-0 Yanks. Photo using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during the game. Brought to you by AT&T. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Jack, you brought up an interesting point about Derek's Turn 2 Foundation. Obviously, he's made good money in his career, but when he came up with this idea with his dad, he was practically making minimum wage.
He was a rookie, Michael. It's 1996. He's in Detroit with his father. They're sitting in his hotel room eating a pizza, and he says to his dad, I want to start a charitable foundation, and I want you to run it. Now, his father is a man of 49 at the time, substance abuse counselor, has his own profession and his own career, and he said to Derek, I'm only going to do this if you're taking this seriously, and this is something that you want to have as part of your legacy. And Jeter said, absolutely. I want to be able to help kids throughout my career, and we've obviously seen that Jeter and his family, his mother Dorothy, his sister Charlie, his father Charles, take that Turn 2 Foundation work very, very seriously and have impacted so many lives with it.
Navarro swings and misses. And I think that the germination of the idea came from Dave Winfield, who was one of Derek's favorite players growing up, and Dave Winfield had a foundation as well.
Jeter had a Dave Winfield poster on his wall. You're absolutely right, Michael. That was his inspiration. He also told me a funny story once about his mother getting Dave Winfield's autograph for him, and where she had to kind of hurdle around some other people and kind of put the ball towards Winfield's face as he was getting into a cab or a limo. And Jeter said he thinks that Winfield was so stunned and so excited that his mom got that close that he signed it and passed it on down.
Count 0-2 on Rasmus. Well, this whole final season has really benefited the Turn 2 Foundation because every team has stepped up and donated money as well as other gifts. So a good job by all the teams in Major League Baseball as Rasmus down on strikes.
Second time Rasmus has struck out. Now he's struck out 115 times this year in just over 330 at-bats. But the 115 strikeouts doesn't even put him in the top 10 in the league in striking out.
Well, he was highly thought of by the Blue Jays when they got him, and he might not be in their plans now because he has not progressed the way they thought.
I believe he's a free agent at the end of the year.
No, I don't think they're going to re-sign him. He's got a world of talent, but he has not been able to harness it.
The one thing you notice about those last 2 strikeouts, both on curveballs, McCarthy has been throwing the cutter more as a Yankee since he came over from the Diamondbacks, but last start didn't throw it as much. Threw 9 cutters in his last start. He had been throwing maybe 20 per start. Obviously has a lot of confidence in the curveball today. You go back to that at-bat against Bautista in the last inning. I wonder if Michael Pineda was watching. 1-2 pitch, Kenny. We talked about this yesterday. He bounces the curveball. What did Pineda say yesterday after the game about the slider that Bautista hit out? He wanted to bounce it. He didn't bounce it. He left it over the plate. That's the game yesterday.
The 1-2. Just got a piece.
Going hard, 94 miles an hour to Valencia. Well, we're saying that McCarthy needed a bounce-back start. He's got some runs to work with. The Yankees have put 3 on the board. And so far, he's just allowed 2 hits.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. We'll hear from Jack Curry on the postgame show. Navarro, Rasmus, and Valencia down swinging. We go to the 6th. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the Volkswagen Turbocharged Sales Event. Visit VWDealer.com. By Sleepy's, forget the amateurs, trust Sleepy's, the only mattress professionals. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Yankees up 3-0 as we go to the 6th inning. Mark Teixeira will lead it off. And Happ starts him off with a strike. Teixeira struck out and lined out to right. 2 for 22 on this road trip for Mark. Missed outside, 1-1. Both of the pitchers in this game have gone through one of the scariest things that pitchers can go through. They both got hit with comebackers. Both Happ and Brandon McCarthy, and they both got hit in the head. And here they are, living to tell about it, and still being successful pitchers.
Yeah, Happ got hit by Desmond Jennings last year on May the 7th. Line drive off the bat of the Rays outfielder. And McCarthy a couple of years ago hit by Eric Ibar. And McCarthy was pitching for the Oakland A's at the time. You're right, Michael. Very scary. They both suffered skull fractures.
Teixeira down looking. He did not like two of the calls. You can see he mouthed that as he walked off.
That is Chad Fairchild, the home plate umpire.
Here's Carlos Beltran, also 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball right. One and one. That one's driven down the left field line, and it is foul.
Beltran has had a 6 for 22 road trip.
Count 2-2.
You saw Navarro flash to target there. He wanted the ball up just above the strike zone. That's something that Hutchinson did very well yesterday. Whenever he wanted to elevate his fastball, it was just above the hitting zone there, and the hitters would go for it. The Yankees went for it. Did a very good job of elevating his fastball and making good pitches with 2 strikes. That's how come he ended up with 9 strikeouts, 1 below his season high.
Swing and a tip into the glove of Navarro. 2-way. Well, 1 week from today, don't miss a very special day in the Bronx. It's a celebration of the captain as the Yankees honor Derek Jeter at the stadium before the game against the Royals. Then after the game on Yes, catch our tribute special, Derek Jeter Salute to the Captain, with exclusive features and interviews. It's a can't-miss celebration next Sunday afternoon right here on Yes, the home of Yankees baseball. And that will be wall-to-wall Jeter coverage, better than anywhere you could get it. And obviously, all of baseball is having a love affair with Derek Jeter this year, and Canada as well. So next Sunday, Derek Jeter Day at the stadium.
Should be quite a day.
Chase Headley's 1 for 2. The count now 1-1. You go up and down this lineup. Kenny just told you what Beltran is on the road trip. Not many good road trips other than Jacoby Ellsbury offensively. That one is lined down the left field line. It is a base hit. It'll bounce over the wall for a double. So Headley's 2 for 3.
This ball kind of climbed the wall on its own. It looked like it was going to stay in the ballpark. It hits, then rolls up the wall and into the Jays bullpen. Here it goes. Hits. Boom. See ya.
Here's Francisco Cervelli. He has a triple and an RBI single. One and 0. Two and 0 to Cervelli.
Phillies had a good day with a triple and a single, hit the ball hard both times, drove in a run in the fourth. You know, you saw what happened on that ball hit by Headley, how it bounded over the wall. And some people feel that they don't like to see ground rule double. They feel like it stops play. That there's a possibility for more action if the ball actually stays on the field. And here, because it's artificial surface, it's also somewhat of an artificial warning track, and it creates a little more bounce, and it helped that ball get over the wall. Not to say that Headley was going to go for 3 anyway, but the possibility was eliminated.
2.
And especially when you hit one further towards the gaps and right, and it bounds over the wall. Yeah, you can see that is turf. It's almost the same sort of turf as the green portion. It's just painted brown, or brown turf.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-0 Yankees, top of the 6th. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Cervelli down on strikes. So all 3 outs coming via the strikeout for Jay Happ. No runs a hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 Yanks. Kansas City Royals, the first 18,000 guests in attendance, will receive a Yankees t-shirt courtesy of Sato. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0. Yankees lead. Kawasaki leads off against Brandon McCarthy, and there's a strike. Yankees very shallow in left and in center for Kawasaki. The sun has burned through the cloud cover, and this is one of the few times all day that the field is bathed in sunlight. You wonder if the sun will play a role. See shadows out there for the first time. 2-2. McCarthy working quickly, throwing strikes. That last pitch, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Working quickly keeps your fielders on their toes.
2-2. Chop to Teixeira. Flips to McCarthy, and they get Kawasaki for the first out. Well, the Yankees are off tomorrow, and then Tuesday the Red Sox come to town. The starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Joe Kelly, 2-3, 4.14 against Shane Green, who's having a good rookie year with the Yankees. Coverage begins at 6 with the BP show. 6:30 is the pregame show. 7:07 will be first pitch from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We'll have it right here on Yes. Here's Jose Reyes, 0 for 1 with a walk. Two 2-0 on Reyes.
You were talking about Jose, and well, the Blue Jays been struggling in the second half of the season. He's actually been coming on. He's been playing very well. Well over 300. It's interesting how the Yankees set up defensively with Reyes at the plate, particularly in the infield. They're leaving the middle wide open. You can see Drew playing where he might play for a right-handed hitter at the plate. You can see that Prado swung over. But this is all by design. They've got charts as to where Reyes hits the ball. If he hits the ball to the opposite field on the ground, it's usually a slasher, and it's not back through the middle. Kind of just throwing the bat at the ball, and if he pulls it, he's going to hit it with authority, and that's why Prado's kind of pulled over. The middle's wide open.
Ground ball to first. Teixeira beats Reyes to the bag. To the second out. 9 in a row for Brandon McCarthy. Very efficient for McCarthy. 71 pitches, 2 outs into the 6th. And a strike to Melky Cabrera. That one's driven deep to right field. See ya. A home run for Melky Cabrera. His 5th against the Yankees this year, and it puts the Blue Jays on the board. Yankees lead 3-1.
Just his second hit of the series, but it's for the distance. And for him, his sweet 16th of the year. You know what? That's where they wanted it. Almost hit the target. Melky must have known what was coming. And jerks it into the second deck in right field.
Here's Jose Bautista. This replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here. Into the seats and out. But a home run nonetheless, a 1-0. 2-0. Orioles lead the Twins 4-0. That's in the top of the 4th inning. White Sox 2, Tigers 0, top of the 2nd. Indians and the Royals tonight. Nationals and the Mariners later on. There's a strike. That one is driven deep to left center field. There it goes. See ya. A home run for Bautista as the Blue Jays go back-to-back and close the Yankee lead to just 1. The 5th straight game that Bautista has homered in.
That's his 29th home run of the season. Blue Jays are a home run hitting team, second in the league in home runs. Only the Orioles have hit more. In that regard, they are birds of a feather. Looked like a breaking ball that hung right in the middle of the plate. And this guy is red hot with the long ball right now. Not so much his overall hitting, but hitting home runs, he is on fire. Of his last 6 hits, 5 of them are home runs.
3-2 Yankees. Here's Adam Lynn. Swing and a miss. Lynn slices one the other way, 0-2. Things going swimmingly for McCarthy until the home run by Cabrera, followed up by the home run by Bautista. Lynn lifts one to left. Wheeler is there, and he puts it away for the final out. But the Blue Jays get on the board. They get on the board in a loud way. First, Melky Cabrera with his 16th home run of the year. And there, Jose Bautista with his 29th blast. 5th in as many games. Most iconic moments in Yankees history. Wednesday night, get the inside story of this epic game on Yankeeography Moments of Glory with all new interviews and eyewitness accounts. Relive all the drama. Wednesday at 11, only on Yes. Well, the back-to-back home runs draw the Blue Jays closer. Yankees lead 3-2 as we start the 7th on the Cadillac scoreboard. Stephen Drew leads off, took the first pitch ball, and it's 1-0 from Hatton. High pop-up. Kawasaki makes the play for the first out. And here is Zealous Wheeler, 0 for 2. Popped to second and fly ball to right. And a strike to Wheeler. One. Now 2-1. On deck, Brett Gardner, who has two of the hardest parts of the cycle, a home run and a triple. No certainty he'll come up another time after this. The 2-1 from Happ. 2-2.
Must have been a nice reception. Your Wheeler here. Well, he hasn't gotten all that many opportunities to play lately. You got the pitcher in a situation where he has to throw you a strike. 3-2. Look for number 1.
Fly ball center field. Rasmus is there for the second out.
Yeah, he hit pretty well. He got the fastball.
Here's Brett Gardner, which shows you on the league leader triple list. He is climbing up on that list now in a tie for second place with Alex Rios and Adam Eaton. Michael Bourne of the Indians, and the Indians are red hot. They've now tied the Yankees in the race for the wild card. Michael Bourne has 9.
You know, a few weeks ago it was Rios who was on top with 8. Michael Bourne was on the disabled list. So he's hit a few since coming off the DL.
Strike to Brett Gardner. Another strike, 0-2.
Yeah, we're talking about Cleveland being tied with the Yankees. Cleveland has won 3 in a row. We were talking about Terry Francona before the game. Good job he's done.
And there's the single part of the cycle, or maybe it's the double part. It's the double part.
He is putting on a show, folks.
So a single away from the cycle for Brett Gardner. A home run, triple, and a double.
You know, the triple for most people was a double. And this double for most people is a single. Gets by Kawasaki.
I think his ankle's feeling better.
No. He's making my ankles feel better. The way he's running. Like I said, a single for most people, but Brett Gardner is not most people. He can really run and gets himself into scoring position.
Runner at second, 2 outs. Here's Jeter, who's 1 for 3. Garrick on this road trip is 6 for 28. Average down to 262. The last Yankee to hit for the cycle, in case you were wondering, is actually on the field today. Melky Cabrera did it August 2nd, 2009 against the White Sox. And I believe the last part of the cycle was the triple. He was pumped up when he got to third. And before that, Tony Fernandez. One. Chop back to Happ. He'll get Jeter, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Time for the 7th inning stretch. 3-2 Yanks. Also, the Orioles now lead the Twins 4-2, bottom of the 4th inning. So 4-2 Orioles over the Twins. Here's the Nissan game summary. 3-9-0 for the Yanks, 2-4-1 for the Blue Jays. Gardner, triple, double, and a home run for the Yankees. Cabrera, solo home run, and Bautista, a solo home run. And that's the scoring that came in the 6th inning against Brandon McCarthy for Toronto. Now we go to the bottom of the 7th. Edwin Encarnacion will lead it off. Cadillac scoreboard, 3-2 Yanks. McCarthy deals. Pitch outside. 3 infielders on the left side for the righty swinging Encarnacion. This is the end of a 9-game homestand for the Blue Jays. They were 1-2 against Tampa Bay, 1-2 against Boston, and up to this point 1-1 against the Yankees.
Well, it appeared that Encarnacion, Mike, was on his way to a big-time season until he was derailed by that strained quad muscle.
Right over our booth.
I don't see many come up this high.
Dylan Betances is warming up for the Yankees. This low, 3-2. And the pitch. That one's drilled deep to left. Tie game. Home run by Cabrera, home run by Bautista in the 6th, a leadoff home run by Encarnacion, and a 3-0 lead is gone. It's 3-3.
Well, the Blue Jays been waiting for his bat to heat up. And he got a pitch, a 3-2 pitch, leading off the inning to his liking. Looked like a slider that hung high, and he drills it. That's number 28 on the season for Encarnacion. And he gets to walk the parrot.
Navarro takes outside.
Yeah, when he runs around the bases, as we look at location, it's up and it's hanging right there. He sticks, I don't know if his left arm or right arm out, and walks the parrot.
Count 2-0.
There he goes.
I'd love to know Bob Gibson's reaction to walking the parrot.
It'd be something like Encarnacion walking the plank. That's what it'd be like.
Larry Rothschild will come out and talk with Brandon McCarthy. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So, guys with the home runs talking in an animated way. About a 45,678 here at Rogers Center. 12th sellout of the year. Missed outside to Navarro, so it has all come apart for McCarthy, who looked so good with 2 outs, nobody on in the 6th inning, just coasting. And then 3 bombs, the 3-0. He walked Navarro on 4 pitches.
Now, up until the home runs, there had only been 1 fly ball out. He kind of thought this was a strike, and we'll get another look. It's called low by Chad Fairchild.
Well, whatever it is, it's the last pitch he's going to throw today, because Joe Girardi is going to call on Dellin Betances. It happened so quickly. 3-0 Yankees is now a 3-3 game, nobody out here in the 7th.
Very quickly, Michael, with 2 outs. Melky Cabrera with a 16th home run in the 6th inning. Then Jose Bautista with number 29. That made it 3-2. But then in the 7th inning, leading off the inning, home run number 28 for Edwin Encarnacion. And the ball game is tied at 3, and he's walking the parrot.
Well, his home run tied it. Then a walk to Navarro on 4 pitches by McCarthy. Knocked McCarthy out of the game. His line not yet complete. The runner at first, his responsibility. And the runner at first is Steve Tollison, pinch running for Deanna Navarro. So the relief pitcher is Dellin Betances. This will be his 60th game. His numbers speak for themselves, so we'll let them do just that. Moby Rasmus fouls it back. 0-2.
The dances as usually rushing it up there.
Strike 3 on the breaking ball. Rasmus now looking. He has struck out 3 times today.
116th time on the season. This is that hook. Man, that is nasty. Dropping right out of the sky. See him snap down on it. Get the rotation on the ball. Boom. Strike 3 call.
There's Danny Valencia. Fouled off in front of the plate. 0-1. Yankee bullpen in pretty good shape. Betances could go multiple innings, and tomorrow's an off day.
Notice how much trouble hitters have squaring up the fastball of Dylan Betances. You go up, it's hard to turn that first one around because it's so overpowering. It's almost like you got to foul one off and try and be quicker on the next one.
Well, the strike was 100 miles per hour. That was 99. And then it gets him with the breaking ball for the second out.
Valencia went back to the dugout as if that just wasn't fair. We get another look. Thinks it's a fastball. It's not. Swings through it. And the reason why Cervelli didn't have to tag him because you can't go to first base with less than 2 outs and a man on.
Rip foul. Kawasaki got around on a fastball.
Yeah, he did.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Stolen base for Tolleson.
Stolen base number 3 in 4 attempts for Tolleson. It throws a little bit high and he's able to sneak underneath with the left hand. See it again on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. And now he's in scoring position.
And that's a base hit to right field. Tolleson rounds third. Here he comes. Here's the throw from Beltran. He is safe. Moving to second on the throw, Kawasaki. Toronto leads 4-3.
Cervelli pointed towards the Yankees dugout as if he wants his play reviewed. And we'll see if Joe Girardi does in fact challenge. Beltran comes up throwing. He makes a pretty good throw, maybe a little bit to the first base side, and Cervelli has to go back and try and make the tag. It looks like he got the left hand in, and we get a good view of it right here. Yeah, it didn't look like he tagged him. It looked like he dove over his hand. Tagged him in the chest, but by that time it was too late. There's the reach for the plate by Tolleson. The stolen base was big, got himself into scoring position, and now he scores the go-ahead run.
And that'll bring up Reyes. 0-1.
There it is, first base side. He has to come all the way back to the third base side, and Tollefson gets in, and Kawasaki, of course, is going to celebrate.
Count 1-1. One and two. Two runs in the sixth, 2 runs here in the seventh, and the Blue Jays now lead this one 4-3.
Tell you what, the crowd is back into it too.
The 1-2. Strike three. Reyes down looking. So Betances gets 3 outs via the strikeout, but the hit by Kawasaki drives in the go-ahead run. 4-3 as we go to the 8th. Is done, and the call to the bullpen brings in left-hander Brett Cecil.
And Cecil's been one of the more reliable relievers for the Blue Jays this year. 17 of his last 18 outings have been scoreless. At one time he was a starter, at one time he was a closer, and now he's working as a setup man.
Well, the Yankees have to come from behind now. They're down 4-3 as we go to the 8th inning. It'll be Prado, Teixeira, and Beltran. Steve Tollefson takes over at second base. And the new catcher is Josh Thole. So Thole will hit in Kawasaki's spot. And there's a strike. Moments ago, Joe Girardi and Cervelli talking things over. Count 0-2 on Prado. Prado wrapped into a double play, single to left and scored, and then lined out to third. Monday scoreboard 4-3. Blue Jays lead as that one's fouled into the seats. Third base side. Well, the Yankees finished their homestand with 4 straight wins. Then they won the makeup game against the Royals 5 in a row, and you're feeling good about things. Line to left field, a base hit for Prado. Then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Tigers. Last one in really excruciating fashion. And now the rubber game of this 3-game set, they're down 4-3 in the 8th inning to the Blue Jays.
And you were right when you said things changed quickly. McCarthy was on a roll. As I said, only 1 ball was hit to the outfield. A lot of ground ball outs. He looked like the sinker was on. I don't know if he got tired. Everything started to come up a bit. And the Blue Jays, as I said, are a home run hitting team, and they had the right men up at the right time to tie the game.
Mark Teixeira takes a strike. Mark is 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Count 0-2.
That was a good swing. Best swing of the day for Teixeira.
Good numbers against Cecil. 7 for 24 with a home run.
There's the follow through on that swing, just a hair late.
One, 2. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Ben May. And Teixeira can't believe it. So Teixeira struck out 3 times, 0 for 4 today.
Side view. Oh, that's close. Eesh.
Let's just put it this way. We've seen worse called the check.
Yes, yes, we have.
Here's Beltran. 1-0.
We've talked about it all year long, I think we've got to get another look at this first. One thing I like that Teixeira did, he did bring the bat back quickly. He didn't give the umpire a long look as to where the bat actually ended up. Was it in front of the plate or was it not? There was some doubt there. The umpire thought he went far enough. Speaking of Beltran, I thought he made a pretty good throw to the plate. There's somebody who's been bothered with the elbow issue all year. Here's a look at the throw, and just like Carlos Beltran of old, Gold Glove winner. Usually when you have a Gold Glove, that means you have a golden arm as well.
Two, 1. 3-1 to Beltran. Chase Headley is on deck.
Here's where you're looking for a pitch you can really drive. Get something that might change the game around. And he went through a breaking ball. Did not come in with the 3-1 fastball. Went to the hook. And by doing so, now he creates doubt in Beltran's mind. Is he going to do it again? Or will I get a fastball 3-2?
Runner goes. High fly ball. Left field. Melky Cabrera waves off Erasmus to make the play for the second out. So they started Prado with just a fly ball out for the second out, and here is Headley. Headley 2 for 3 so far today. Yankees trail 4-3, top of the 8th. The way this game has played out right now, when Jeter came up in the 7th, it was a big point of the game, runner at second base. They didn't give him that goodbye ovation. And if Headley makes it out here, and then the Yankees go down in order in the 9th, Jeter never gets that final goodbye it out. Also, the Yankees never get a chance to rally, which is the most important thing on their minds. They'd like to get Gardner up again with a chance at the cycle, but somebody does have to reach. There's 2 outs here in the 8th, and Headley's the 6th batter in the lineup.
You know, maybe we have answered the question: does the ball travel better with the roof open or the roof? There have been 8 home runs in this series, and in all 3 games that the roof is open.
Do they green light Headley? You'll never know. The pitch was high. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here comes Pete Walker. So it's going to be Cecil against Cervelli when Walker's done with his conference. Also get complete analysis of today's series finale on the WB Mason postgame. After the final out, stay right here on Yes for reaction from the players in the clubhouse. And you'll also hear from Joe Girardi. It's all coming up only on Yes. Francisco is 2 for 3. Tripled off the center field wall in the 2nd. Singled to left and drove in a run in the 4th. Unless somebody gets picked off here, this does mean that Gardner will come up in the 9th. And Cervelli has good numbers against Cecil. 5 hits and 7 at bats. Todd Redman is warming up for the Blue Jays in the bullpen. Wave through that pitch, 0-2.
Another good sharp breaking ball. It looks like it might have broken out of the zone. It was similar to the pitch he threw Beltran.
Jacoby Ellsbury is ready just in case. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Cervelli down on strikes. And Cecil works out of trouble. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead this one 4-3. Have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to @YesNetwork using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. This is from Manure. And it's 4 Yankee fans, 5 Yankee fans, and the dog in pinstripes.
That's cool.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Betances is still in there. It'll be Cabrera, Bautista, and Lind. Hyundai scoreboard 4-3. Blue Jays lead the Yankees. That one is ripped into center. Gardner makes the play.
Well, as Melky got the comeback started, 6th with his 2-out home run. He's hit now in 27 of his last 30 games against the Yankees.
Here's Bautista. And a breaking ball strike. Josh Outman and Adam Warren up. That breaking ball upstairs, 1-1.
Now Prado repositions on the right side of second base. Ooh. That sounded fast. 97.
One-two pitch. Ben May said no, he did not go.
Now, this is not a particularly humid day, but when the hard throwers like Betances are out there and you get those humid nights or days, you can actually hear the ball cutting through the heavy air on the way to home plate. The seams of the ball rippling through the air, and it sounds like bacon sizzling coming to the plate. And there's a distinct pop at the very end when the ball hits the catcher's glove. You don't hear that from every pitcher.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball. 4th strikeout in an inning and 2/3 for Betances.
Good, tight breaking ball strikes him out. Looks like fastball. No. Back to the dugout. Betances continues to rack up strikeouts.
Adam Lind slaps one to left field. Turns around a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, a 2-out single.
In fact, Michael, it was spring training when Joe Girardi brought in Betances in a situation bases loaded and 1 out to face both Bautista and Encarnacion in spring training. And he struck out Bautista on 3 pitches and got Encarnacion to fly out. And Joe Girardi said, well, maybe we got a pitcher here. Somebody we could use in relief. And, well, Betances has run with it. Came an all-star this year. Well over 100 strikeouts. Lynn's out of the game, pinch runner.
Kevin Pillar, pinch runs. Encarnacion swings and misses. You have to start the bat a little sooner when he's throwing 98, and then when he puts the wrinkle in it, that's when you have trouble.
Yeah, you can't finish what you started.
Bottom of the 6th, Orioles lead the Twins 4-2. White Sox 5, Tigers 0. Top of the 4th inning. Nationals and the Mariners start about an hour, a little less. And Indians and the Royals tonight. That's the ESPN Sunday night game. Foul back to the fastball, and it's 1-2. Given out to right field, and Beltran makes the play for the final out of the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. 3 batters in, we'll see Brett Gardner. He has a home run, he has a triple, and he has a double. He needs some kind of hit because the Yankees need some kind of run. Yes, is brought to you in part by Volvo. Test drive one today at your Volvo local dealership and experience the wonder of summer. By People's United Bank, see what know-how can do. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2014 models. Casey Jansen comes on to try to close this out, and he will deal to Stephen Drew a strike. They did not use Jansen in yesterday's game to close this out. 19 of 23 in save opportunities. They let Aaron Sanchez pitch 2 innings to get the save and the 2-0 win.
And Jansen has been struggling, and that's being kind. Since the All-Star break, opponents are hitting almost .330 against him, and his ERA is almost 8 since halfway through the season.
High pop-up. Shallow right. Tollison makes the catch for the first out, and that's going to bring up Jacoby Ellsbury to pinch hit for Zealous Wheeler. Ellsbury got hurt in a play at the plate on Friday, missed yesterday's game. Not in today's starting lineup. But here he is pinch hitting for Wheeler on this road trip. 11 for 22, 4 home runs, 9 ribbies. Pitch outside to Ellsbury.
He's had 3 at-bats as a pinch hitter so far this season. He hasn't had a hit in this role.
It's his left ankle that is sore. Let's take a look on how he did it on the play at the plate.
Yeah, attempting to score on a high chop at the third, and watch the contact with the ankle at home plate. And you could see his ankle was bent back in the direction it shouldn't be going, and he came up limping a bit in obvious pain at home plate. He was out on the play, by the way.
1-2. Jansen deals. Froze Ellsbury with the breaking ball, but missed the strike zone. So the count 2-2. This is the rubber game of this series and the rubber game of the road trip. The 2-2.
You hear hitters use the term, as we look at what he's done against Jansen, 4 for 15. You hear hitters use the term, and pitchers too for that matter, having your legs underneath you. And it's very important in hitting to be able to shift your weight properly to get your best swings at the ball and be able to drive it. That's why if you got any sort of leg injury, sometimes it's not possible to get that done.
And the 2-2. Just missed outside. And the count is full at 3-2. Brett Gardner is on deck. Ellsbury pinch hitting for Wheeler. Jansen deals. Looped into right field. Is it going to find artificial turf? Yes, it does. It's a base hit. Ellsbury's going for 2. The throw, not in time. It's a pinch hit double for Jacoby Ellsbury. And the Yankees are alive here in the 9th.
You better believe that ankle's pretty heavily taped, and he's able to steam into second base. He didn't really get all of this, but he got enough to get it over the first baseman and drop it ahead of Jose Bautista and out of the reach of Tolleson at second base. So Ellsbury, here's where adrenaline kicks in, Michael. This is what you do when you hit a ball like that. That's what he's done in the past, and that's how, Joe Girardi's worried he might injure himself again. But he's in the second. Pitch runners out there. Ichiro's running for him and trying to take it the rest of the way home, which would tie the game.
So Ichiro at second. And here's Brett Gardner. Gardner a single short of the cycle. And the Yankees could use a single right here. And the pitch. A strike. 3 good arms in the outfield for the Blue Jays, so it's no gimme that Ichiro scores on a single. Melky in left, Rasmus in center, and the best arm of the 3, Bautista in right.
Yeah, you're right. They do throw well.
The 0-1.
Plus, what helps the outfielders in this ballpark is the fact that the ball gets to you a little quicker on artificial surface.
Gardner has faced Jansen 4 times with 1 hit. Jansen was looking for Gardner to call time. He was not going to throw that ball, just kept checking Ichiro at second.
There was a time where Ichiro was a legitimate threat to steal third.
One. Rounded to first. Encarnacion beats Gardner to the bag. Ichiro moves to third with the tying run, and that'll bring up Jeter in what could be the final time here in Toronto, and he will get a big hand. A big spot for Jeter and the Yankees, and Jeter has not had much success against Jansen. 1 for 17 against the Blue Jays closer. And the 1 was a home run. So the game clearly on the line. 2 outs, runner at third, Yankees down by 1. And a strike. Jansen trying to close this out and win the series for the Blue Jays, 2-1. Yankees trying to tie it up. The 0-1. That one is looped right at Tolleson, and that'll do it. And the Blue Jays win 4-3. Another painful loss for the New York Yankees. They were up 3-0. Brandon McCarthy was coasting, and then the long ball was broken out by the Blue Jays, a good home run hitting team. And Kenny, they go home with a very, very tough loss.
They do. The Yankees now 3-4 on the road trip, and wow, you know, he had struck out 3 batters in the 5th inning and looked very, very strong, and then got the first 2 outs of the 6th, and then all things started to go wrong for McCarthy and the Yankees.
All right, we're going to come back here at Rogers Center. We got some things to wrap up. Yankees lose this one 4-3. They lose the road trip 3-4.